Without any delay, as a matter of fact, there is a called press conference by the national leadership of our party as instructed by the governing council, been led by His Excellency President George Manawiya. The National Executive Committee to its leader, Chairman Mobake Moru Jr., called this press conference a few hours ago, and all of our party structures were asked to assemble here at about this time. Without any delay and hesitation, we are all here. So quickly, before we present the national chairman of our party to you to speak to the press, citizens from across the bitter wave of the Republic of Liberia, as well as those in the diaspora, Liberians in general, it is important as per tradition to quickly recognize some of our top-notch party leaders that are here. Majority of those you see comfortably seated in this hall are leaders, but we do not have the leverage of time to introduce everyone. We will introduce just a few so as to meet up with the purpose which will be assembled here this afternoon. We quickly want to recognize all of our coordinators representing the Coordinator Council here, being led by Myers Peter, the coordinator of District 14, and the chairman of the CDC National Coordinator Council, Myers Peter, who said you are recognized and you are welcome. We quickly want to recognize the Women League of our party through its dynamic leader, Madam Famata Rosler. Say, members of the Women League, you are welcome to this press conference, and you are recognized, Madam Chair. Quickly moving forward, I want to recognize the leadership of Monserrato County, the executive leadership of Monserrato County, been led by Anthony Alexander Villaseli. He's not here, but we've seen the Deputy Secretary for Administration, Madam Ruth Bayoga. Say you and your leadership, you are welcome to this press conference, and you're highly recognized. We quickly want to recognize the head of the Auxiliary Network, Dr. Steve Gay. So the entire Auxiliary Network of our party, you are recognized and you are welcome to this press conference. We want to recognize the Youth League. The Youth League. The men and women commonly referred to as the gatekeepers of our party. We are the least in the party. We keep the gate. So we are proud gatekeepers of the people's movement. So the Youth League, members of the Youth League from across the 17 districts and some nearby counties have assembled here this afternoon, and they are being led by the chairman of the management team, the team that manages the affairs of the Youth League in the absence of our executive committee members. And concomitantly, he serves as the chairman of the Electoral District number 9, the man that is charged to mobilize the militants within District number 9 to show that Munam's legacy is retained in District number 1 by ensuring that friend Safoko is elected as next representative of the Electoral District number 9. No other person but the dynamic firebrand youth leader, Chairman Azar Estopa. Chairman, you are recognized. Quickly, the final delay, because of time, I want to recognize the presence of the Vice Chair for Planning Policy and Program Strategies of our party, Louis Wright, one of the commissioners at the National AIDS Commission. He's the honorable leader. You're welcome. Quickly, I want to recognize the presence of the Youth Chairman Emeritus of the CDC, and currently the Vice Chair for Gender and Development, Mr. Sidiki Fofana. So you are recognized from a leader. Amanda. Amanda. I want to recognize all of the ground forces. You are the most important people of our party. You keep the game in your respective communities. You engage in the debates and show that the physical and intellectual properties of our party are kept intact. So you are the real deal of the people's movement. All of the ground forces, you may not be occupying a strategic position, but you are very important to the people's movement. We recognize your effort. I want to say you are recognized this press conference. Quickly, at this point, we ask all of the militants to barricade all of the entrances. Amanda, barricade quickly all of the entrances leading to the Papi Solo Conference Hall. Amanda, as we present to you for this all-important press conference, Amanda, the trainer of gladiators. Amanda, the doctor of the people's movement. Amanda, the fearless guerrilla warrior. Amanda, son of the elephant hunter. Amanda, respond. Amanda, Amanda, a leader and teacher who believes in graduatism. Amanda, matter of fact, chairmanship, he rose to the rank and file. He rose to the rank and file of the People's Party. Amanda, serving in respective positions along the way. Amanda, so he passed to the rank and file. He didn't arrive by accident. Amanda, dance the party. His work grander in the counties, in the districts, in the zones. Amanda, he is the people's chairman. The final today, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to present to you and bring onto this platform. Amanda, the man who presides over the transparency of the people's. Amanda, 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 Amanda. Wisdom. What about Charlie? Okay.
Thank you very much. I'd like to appreciate God for allowing the convergence of this huge press conference. We want to keep celebrating the media for their independence in the affairs of the conduct of their professional duties and responsibilities. I'd like to say thanks to all of our partisans, district coordinators, youth leaders, women leaders, junior heads, members of different parastatals of the party. We want to say hats off to all of you. You are the reason for the existence of the CDC. We extend thanks to members of the party in the diaspora who may be participating in this press conference through cyberspace or different forms of electronic media. CDC USA will say thank you, CDC Europe, CDC Canada, CDC Australia, China, and the sub-region will say thank you for your relentless sacrifices to the upgrowth, the progress of this mass-based people's revolutionary movement. Before we go to the crust of this press conference, we'd like to first of all recognize the tremendous leadership, the very capable leadership of His Excellency President George Weah, who was elected to the presidency through a popular people's mandate and started steering the affairs of our ship under difficult circumstances. He inherited a broken force that was made empty by his predecessors. He inherited a difficult economic condition. When he came to the presidency, the US dollar exchange rate was spiraling out of control. It was difficult to pay civil servants or to maintain the currency of their arrears. Problems were in their multiplicity. We are proud. After 2.5 years, he has turned things around. Progress has surfaced. We are proud that today you go to the market, the price of basic commodities has begun to experience reduction. Yesterday I bought a boiled egg from a petty trader, and I asked her, how much is the egg? And she called the price. I said, but has this always been the price? She said, no. The price of the egg has dropped. And then I asked for a bottle of Coca-Cola. Then, because I'm interested in investigating the genuineness of reform, I went to the market to do some shopping. And I realized that compared to yesterday and today, the price of basic commodities is dropping every day. It didn't happen by magic or miracle, though we are grateful to God for his providence that's allowed such beginning of reform, but also through the God-given wisdom as instituted by His Excellency George Weah as president in the last 2.5 years, as he makes decisions that are now becoming favorable to the interests of the people. We were not surprised when he inherited the presidency and the exchange rate was going over the control. When you have the presence of international partners, and UNMIL alone had to leave because it was time to let Liberia test its democracy. That was $100 million in flight out of Liberia that was otherwise being injected in the economy to give it a boost. So His Excellency inherited huge economic challenges that would have broken any president had not been one that has wisdom, understand how to navigate his way through these problems. Nevertheless, we are grateful to God, and we say thank God for George Weah. That progress is becoming evident. It may not be where we want to be today, but things are by far better off than they were yesterday, and we are grateful for that. Liberians must be congratulated for standing with their president. Sedition for standing with their party through thick and thin. Results, progressive results, have become inevitable. And I can assure you, under His Excellency George Manuel Weah, the economy of this country will go from strength to strength moving forward. Amen. Let's be patient. Let's continue to believe in the good governance wisdom of His Excellency and His cabinet. And we are proud that he remained stuck to his promises. He has not deviated for once from the things he said he will do. Are roads been built? Yes. Roads have been built speedily. In 2.5 years, George Manuel Weah, His Excellency, our President, has built more roads than Madam Salif did in 6 years in this country. We are proud of that. We are proud of that. Free education. Today you don't have to worry about tuition, once you have plans to enter the UL. Because government has made provision to cover your tuition. All you need is to study and take entrance and pass. For 173 years, Liberia was never like that. A country led by some of the world's greatest academics, but yet never had the wisdom or the patriotism to grant free education for its citizens. Liberia had to wait for 172 or 171 years for George Weah to institutionalize that policy. We are proud of that. We are proud that high school students don't have to struggle, or their parents don't have to struggle selling to pay WAS fees. It's not covered by government. We are proud. We are proud that he's fulfilling his healthcare delivery promises that he made during the campaign. I was at the JFK the other day visiting a sick relative. And he said to me, when I was told that I was going to transfer to JFK, I began to cry. Because I thought it's dilapidated, I thought it was understaffed, I thought it is under-equipped. That was just 4 days ago. He said, when I got to JFK and see the cleanliness, the hygiene, the developed infrastructure, even a doctor confessed to me that, oh, Mr. Mbonu, thank God for the president. We now have CT scan. CT scan. Wow. As irrelevant as it may seem, globally. But JFK, for many decades, for many years, has just owned a CT scan made possible by His Excellency George Mano. We are making tremendous progress. The economy is picking up. By far where he met it, the exchange rate is now stable. And we get better every day. We are proud. That is why those are trying to create blackmail. Those are trying to create a false impression. And you are not safe under George Weah are simply delving in falsehood. Now, we've said before that we're in sympathy with our brothers that passed away. And in fact, we set up a committee headed by Madam Peter Sedita to visit the bereaved family in simple time. Because every life loss is important to us, and we'll do everything to protect life. And so, any Liberian life, it doesn't matter your political status, your tribal origin, or your ethnicity, or your religious identity, all Liberians deserve equal protection, whether rich or poor, whether struggling or opportune, whether have or the other way. This government is committed to protecting every Liberian citizen. That's why there's so much freedom of speech. I've never seen a government in the history of global politics where people, as reckless as they may be, will rise up every morning and make it a career to insult their president and can say, well, the street free. That's democracy. It may not be right, but that's good governance. That's good governance. I heard my brother, my big brother, T-Mash Galate, had complained that his life is not safe. Wow. And when I heard it, I thought it was in a dream. Because the man that I have followed for 15 years, the man that we have followed, the man that kept peace even while he was not president under Madam Sully, the man that disarmed and saved life when guns were sounded, when Liberia was in chaos and anarchy. I've never known a man in my life that is as peaceful as His Excellency George Mano Weah. To even suggest that it is possible for a governing architecture that he has to countenance or support the death of a flag, in my view, is an unjust allegation that can never be justified under the weight of the fights of the long history of peace building in this country. This government, until the Liberian people says it's time for you to go, maybe 12, 20 years, 30 years from now, whatever gracious time that we love this government, will never be responsible for killing a flag.
Thank you.
That's why we encourage and we support the president's decision to add international dimension to an investigative effort to establish the fight. We support that process. We are glad that he made that decision. Because you can't now say, oh, the walkover or something, because the Americans, like all of our European partners, are very, very credible. And they will be a part of nothing that compromises the rule of law, or that compromises an investigation that seeks to bring fights in the loss of life. So we are glad for that. We are glad for that, and we encourage that process, and we'll give you a chance. In the end, we know that those naysayers, doomsday prophets that look over the shoulder and accuse someone with black car passes will come out empty. Because you can insult the president for the next 10 years, you will not be haunted for it. You will not be targeted for it. This government will always protect the life of every Liberian citizen, irrespective of your political identity. Whether you love us or you don't love us, you still deserve the protection of the law and of the police force, of the judiciary. So people that think much larger, you have no cause to worry. The impression that you're not safe is just not true. You can sleep on the street, and government will protect you. Even though after many years of war, things can happen you have no control over. Even though in the natural course of events, things can happen you have no control over. But as a government, we will never, ever, things can happen we are not responsible for the loss of a life. Even a cat, we don't know how to kill. Talk less on human being. So we just want to make that very clear, and that we encourage the investigative process. We are happy that the Americans are involved, or they have been called upon to get involved. And we hope that laid to rest some of the dangerous, false allegations being levied that have no place in the corridors of fight in reality. With that said, we say thank you to all citizens for participating in the just ended primaries. Very peaceful, not violent, free and fair. This is the first time a political party converges or assembles thousands of delegates to conduct democratic primaries, and no noise came from there. Please help me rise to your feet. Give all of our delegates a big round of applause. Thank you. Now, after primaries, as a party that is governed by the rule of law, or that respects the rule of law, when the Election Commission called a meeting and announced that it was suspending campaign events, we immediately followed suit to ensure that we respect the sanctity of the rule of law. So as we speak, we are not involved in campaign until we get a signal from the Elections Commission. Because in electoral matters, they are the custodian of law and order. So the party has suspended campaign because it is mandated to do so by the Elections Commission, and we will not commence until we get signal from the Commission to proceed with campaign activities. What we will be doing is holding meetings without campaigning. We will hold meetings to keep citizens informed, because we have to inform them that, hey, NEC has already regulated campaign, no campaign activities, and we don't want you to violate that. So we're going to go to the district or the counties, hold these meetings to inform our partisans, educate them about the responsibility to always, at all times, maintain respect for the rule of law. Not just that, we are happy that through all the primaries, there was no violence. It's important for us to continue in that spirit. Throughout the elections, the campaign process when it's declared. CDC has a zero tolerance level for violence. A sedition that gets involved in violence will have itself to blame because the party will act. We did not relent to suspend a county chairman a few weeks ago who was involved in disrupting a meeting in Bon County. And we will not also relent to do the same. Anytime such tragic, indisciplined behavior is projected by any party member, irrespective of size, status, or age, we must all understand it is a national responsibility to maintain the rule of law, to maintain peace and stability. To even emphasize it more and make it more pronounced, whatever goes wrong, as Liberian citizens, you have the most to lose. It doesn't matter which party you come from. More so as a governing political institution. You can't break your own house down. So if anybody is trying to throw stone at your glass house, walk away if you can't prevent it. Hence comes our golden rule. If one ear is slapped, turn the next. If you don't have the tolerance to turn the next ear, do not be the way they will slap your ear. Because if it is slapped and you retaliate, you'll be sent to a grievance committee, and if you are guilty, there will be drastic action taken to remedy the rule of law. So it's important for us to make very clear that throughout the campaign process, any member of the party that gets involved in violence will meet the full weight of the law, consistent with our rules and standards, our bylaws and constitution. Now, we are about to announce today the CDC's National Campaign Committee.
Manda, say you. We are set and ready. And waiting signal for next. Is that you? Say you. Respond. We are waiting signal for next. Is that you? Manda.
Now, even though we are not going to be campaigning, but we have to put ourselves in ready mode. Before you run, you say ready, steady, before you say go, right? We are announcing the committee not necessarily because we're going to campaign tomorrow, but it's an infrastructure being put in place to prepare for the marching order from there. This is the campaign of the grassroots. This is probably the first time a political party in Liberia, 103-year history, we announced a campaign committee that is completely grassroots based. We believe in the integrity of our delegates. We are a political infrastructure, a gigantic one that is run from bottom up. That's why our primaries are always decided by delegates in the different constituencies of our party. The Zuna heads, women leaders, youth leaders, they are the decision makers of our party. If they were trusted to make decisions about the candidature of our candidates, they should also be trusted to run campaign for them. So the Zuna heads in the respective zones, the places people will not go, the people that call nobodies, are the people that will run and execute the mandate of our campaign process. Now it's built like this. We have a national campaign committee that's going to be announced. Then we have 6 regional committees that supervises the different regions of our campaign process nationwide. Then we're going to have counter structure headed by able citizens as chairpersons. Then district structures. Districts where there are CDC lawmakers, where they will assume the role of campaign chairpersons in those districts. In the absence of that, our district leaders will become campaign chairpersons. When you have a lawmaker, then the district heads become deputy campaign managers in those districts. In the zones, every zonal head across muscle riders, 530 zones. Each zonal head will assume the role of campaign manager in a respective zone. If you are a zonal head in your respective constituency, hearing my voice, you automatically become the campaign manager of that zone in that district. Each district has 30 zones, so we're going to have 30 campaign managers in every district. They will do their work, and they will be supervised by the district representative or the district's coordinator. We are convinced with our zonal head standing by us, we cannot lose. You will never lose when you have the people on your side. And these are the people, the custodians of power. Every time we say power is inherent in the people, we don't practicalize it. This is the first political institution that practicalizes the phrase that power is inherent in the people. We believe in the integrity of the people. We will always be a party of the masses. We will live and breathe the masses. They are the reason for our being. We will defend their rights, advocate for them, and will govern for them. That is why for 173 years, it is under this government that you have roads in Clarendon, Johnsonville, District 6, Rehab. Roads are going places that no mandatory roads will go. Under previous government, those areas were not prioritized because that's not where the elites live. The only prioritized area the elite live. But we place priority over area the people live. So everywhere the people live, that's where roads will go. Because George Weah is a man of the people. Man of the masses. And will always do those things that brings pride and glory, that live the standard of living for his people. Don't forget, we've been here for just 2.5 years, not 6 years. So don't judge us like we are responsible for the problem of Liberia, which has existed for 173 years.
Thank you.
We didn't create the problems. We are solving the problems. For the voters, they are trying to create the impression that George Weah is a problem. He is not. He is the solution to the problem.
Yes.
I've always been here. Because Weah was born right around the 60s. This country been here for 173 years. The problems of Liberia have always been here. So this man has come to solve the problem. He's not the reason for the problem.
No way.
So when you say, oh, and the economy, he didn't create the economy as it is. He's solving the problem. It's good to say this thing because people tend to forget. They tend to believe that just because people talk everything on radio, propaganda, politics, that all their problems will suggest that he is. He is not. He is a solution that we always fought for. He is a solution we always fought for. George Weah is not the problem. George Weah is not the problem. He is the solution to the problem. I will say until it enters the mind of those who are detractors. Our problems were created by some of the sons and daughters of those that misgovern the country. Some are the ones today who are claiming moral high ground. Where were you? 173 years the country existed. The problems always been here. For the first time you have a president that is providing solution to the problems. What do? Support him even if you don't like it because he's developing Liberia. When the roads are built, it wouldn't be me alone going on that road or seditions alone, but every Liberian will be a part of that process, will be a part of enjoying the road. And so, the people are the reason for our existence as a political party. We will never forget the people. That's why Zuno heads are the campaign managers of our campaign in the respective zones, in the counties, in the districts. We are part of our party. Seditions always stay the course. You have a great party that will never let you down. Stay with your party because the party remains supreme at all times. Are you with me? Yes. The party remains supreme because the party is a representation of their interest, of their needs, of their authority. It will always be there for you. Now the other day we have a tremendous process where some of our brothers from the Liberia Party came to the CDC. And we are proud for them. So please put your hands together for our brothers from the Liberia Party who are now members of the party. Are they around? Yeah. Y'all please stay. Y'all please get up again. We are proud of you. We are happy for you. When you joined the party, we were engaged someone else, so we couldn't be here at the time. There'll be a special day where we will celebrate your membership. We're going to show you, once you are now seditious, we are responsible for you. We will stand with you in all things. And we ensure that every right and privilege that sedition deserves is also accorded you. We don't discriminate here. We love each other, and we are proud of your membership. So thank you. God bless you. There were 17 district leaders that joined the party at that time, district coordinators, and youth chairpersons. That's a tremendous blessing. They joined by themselves. They said they are moved by the development, the progress being achieved under His Excellency George Manawia. So while others are there trying to blackmail government, like be raising the numbers, I appreciate actually what this president is achieving. So we thank God for that. With that said, we will now go into the campaign committee listing. And we'll start first with an announcement of the National Campaign Organizing Committee, which will be chaired by Professor Wilson K. Tappe as chairman. Andrew Peters is Deputy Campaign Manager, or National Campaign Manager, sorry. Mr. Peter Sedita is Media and Communications Person. Jefferson Koji, Operations. Samara Pizza, Wolakwani, Politics and Strategy. Akara Moses Gray, Official Spokesperson of the Campaign Committee. John S. Uboti, Treasurer. Randolph C. J. Cooper, Finance. Mr. Bill Twewe, Candidate Coordinator. Urias Gore, Plenty of Research. Prince Crippler, Auxiliaries and NEC Affairs. Pamata Rosler, General Affairs Coordinator. Joanna Peters, International Coordination. Jaga Eko, Head Campaign Secretariat. Ronakel Mesco, Logistics. Emmanuel T.D. Swain, Administration, Musa Kone, Mobilization and Recruitment, Festus Arabi Logi, Religious Affairs Coordinator, Fred Lamadan, member of the campaign committee, and Edward Goba, member. Sylvester Kane, member. Mr. Nodi Sherman, member. Merchant Pine, member. Kudubu Sharif, member. Now we go to the 6 different regional breakups of the campaign structure. We start with Region 2, which comprises River G and Maryland counties. Norafina Bondo is chairperson. Socrates Kalon, co-chairperson. Jerome Chelly, secretary. Bolton Dennis, member. Anthony Kopadoma Stover, member. Jefferson Tucker, member. Tracy Fowler, member. Alexander O. Sherman, member. Emmanuel K. Robertson, member. And Mesakina Billa, member. Give us a light. Region 3, which comprises Grand Judah and Lofa counties, has Moses Y. Colley, chairman, Madison William, co-chairperson, J. Emmanuel Potter, secretary, Margaret Alice Grant, member, Maurice Sire, member, Waterback Colley, member, Mark Muletua, member, and Mr. Colley Kamara, member. That's for Region 3, which comprises Grand Judah, Nimba, and Lofa counties. Region 4, Grand Bassa, Riverside, and Bone counties. Mr. Gabla V. Williams, member. Mr. Sidiki Fofana, no, not member, but chairman, sorry. Sidiki Fofana, co-chairperson. Janet Bagman, secretary. Maxwell Va, member. Augustus J. Flomo, member. Wesley Dumoye, member. Mitchell Kanga, member. John Blackie, member. John S. Moba, member. And of course, Henry S. Clark, member. Region 5, Grand Crew and Sino. Creighton Duncan, chairperson. Wissa Blama, co-chairperson. Focus Wilson, secretary. Chris Kwate, member. Madame Mary Sayene, member. Forsner, member. James Nangwe, member. Patrick William, member. James Komote, member. Region 6, the last region, not the least. Bombing, Bapolu, and Grand Kidmore counties. Dwana Kamara is chairman of that region. Irek Paye is co-chairperson of the region. Aaron Vincent, secretary. Adama Robinson, member. Thomas G. Goba, senior member. And Ishaga Sharif, member. Then we come to the county structure. From Marvin Cole is the chairman of Bongale Campaign Committee. John S. Morba is member. Mary Q. Johnson, member. Mike Cooper, member. Thomas Plato, member. Henry S. Not Henry S. But Mike Cooper, member. Bombay County is chaired by Alfred B.S. Zina as chairperson. Now we're still receiving information from the campaign committee of the different counties. So it's not completed county-wide. So the rest will be announced in subsequent days when we get the completion of the list in our offices. Bapolu is chaired by Mr. Zina Nomo, while Grand Judah is chaired by Mr. Kai Fali. Grand Kidmore is chaired by Mr. Malayas Sharif, while Maryland is chaired by Mr. Otis Blake. There are others under the chairperson that we didn't want to name as we give the listing to the different chairpersons that will communicate with their respective members of the committee. Sando is chaired by Lee Nangwe Chie. Magibe is chaired by Daddy S. Gibson. Lofa is chaired by Mr. Tamba Kamba. Grand Crew is chaired by Honorable Fonati Kofa. Grand Baza is chaired by Honorable Matthew Joe. Riverside is chaired by Honorable Besman Kavia. River G is chaired by Mr. Oliver Swen. Nimba is chaired by Zopo G. Mekanson. I've been in there. The new mayor here. Amen. Now, we come to the National Campaign Management Committee. Hello. Which will be assisted by an advisory council that we've also named. On the advisory council, we have President Charles Gibson as chairperson, and the chairman of CDC USA, Mr. Steve Logan, is co-chairperson. Senator Richard Devine is member of that committee. Chris Mamboro, member of that committee. Alfred Gibson, promotion rider, member of that committee. And Madame Gertrude Perroya, CDC USA, member of the advisory committee, advisory council. We come to campaign subcommittees, mobilization, headed by Soko Ward, who chair most riders mobilization committee. We have on our committee Raymond Rabot administration, Marion Wilson operation, J. Chichi, owner secretary, Fatimata Nebi Bar member, Jemima Dawson member, Prince Bloche member, Daniel C. Hayes member, Marjorie Paulson member, Michael Jala member, Haji A. Yan member, and Segu Dukle member. We got a transportation and logistics. Idris Billete chairman, Olita C.C. Weir, co-chairperson, Maimina Khan secretary, Ima Glasgow member, Joseph Bozi Wisse member, Ronald W. the second member, Jairus Harris member, Tani Maula Bongoli member, Tracy Pehe, Mohamed K. Jallo, Shefa Sharif, Ali James, all members. Media and communication. Analyst Lobache, Chairman, RBC Wisse Operations, Weber Bangura, Secretary, Abdul Kanye member, Memesi Kaba member, Nathan Powell member, James Johnson, Gamode Clinton, Hassan Newland, Rudolph Ben Chamba, Kwame O. Weeks, Bema J.V. Weimar, Aaron Johnson, Prince Kaba Mumbolu, Gerson Abba Davis, all members of that committee. Outreach and propaganda. Gabriel Yekan, chairman.
Capitaine, a meilleur frère de Zayo. Zayo, P52 capitaine de Zayo. Manda.
Gabriel Yekan is back here. Gabriel Yekan, chairman. King Prince Andrews, co-chairman. Steve Gay, secretary. Falco Freeman, member. Samuel Wozi, member. Ivor Moore, Jim N. Fala, Walter S. Yenny, Samuel F. McGill, Fadu Soiree, James Creighton, Jerome Dankwa, Stephen S. Moore, Emmanuel Gonti, Poduti Sumo, Opi, Oni Johnson, Solomon Bly, Wen Sele are all members of that committee. So we come to
we are ready to find you.
Thank you.
We are ready to find. We are ready to find.
Now we come to the contest campaign committees that will be headed by a campaign chairperson under the regular structure. Most of it is going to be led by Senator Sir H. Joseph as chairman. Co-chair Alexander Sedi, Chairman Monserrado, Peter Beeman Operations, Jubasi Jube, Planning and Strategy, Standard Zan, Mobilization, Bayonne Qualified Logistics Coordinator, Agoti S. Stamba Logistics, Nora Ware, member, Charlie A. Taylor, member, Lawrence George, member, Mike Shen, George Michaele, Amelia Garnett, Alice Yaba, Nancy Yola. I know Nancy Yola. Anyone needs service again. Nancy Yola, Elizabeth Sambula, Satiros Dan, Bobby Whitfield, And all petty traders are on the committee as members. All street vendors on the committee as members. All paper writers also on the committee as members. And all first-time voters are members of the committee likewise. Then we have Ire Jusu, John M. Gray, Peter Bleeman, John Gray is the last person. So those are members of that committee. We come to sidebar and social media. Jusu Belede is chairperson of that committee. Aloysius Howard co-chairperson, co-chairpersons. Charles MacArthur Digor is secretary. Amara Cannon member. Patience Davis, Sakina Bello, Moses Tobe, Ishaka Sharif. There are two Ishaka Sharifs. Ishaka Sharif, Jacinto S. Gate, Uriah Bar, Jerome Sedi, Augusta Riches, Amos Soiree, Tatos Yanvo Brown, Yaya B. Sese, Chomie Sowi, A. Mohammed A. Fogway, Alpha Gray, Barney Donald S. Wellington Kofa, Abayomi Tapla Santi, Christian Yanti, Aston Wallow, and Faith George Dennis. Those are members of the Cyber and Social Media Committee. We come to Ways, Means, and Finance Committee. Davos J. Coney is chairperson. He's here in Liberia, District 7. And Joel Williamson, resides in America, is co-chairperson. Agostin Monobala is secretary. Kotadi Kanga is member. Group Bayoga is member. Bakavin Liba Madison from the States member. Sandolo Jacobson member. Charles Gono, Mango Aku, members of the committee. That concludes the campaign subcommittees. We will now proceed to the district zonal structures. Where is it?
Manda! Word! Amanda! Word! Manda! Word! Manda! Word! Manda! Word! The quiz! Committee, let no war, the quiz! But I never the committee, let no war, there you most indicated committee ever is about politics, there you Manda people move back to Zayo. Manda. The quiz. We are more than ready to the quiz. The quiz. We are more than ready to the quiz.
What did it, baby?
Thank you. Now, should we call all of these campaign managers, these wonderful people, then we'll spend the whole night. So, it's going to be published. So, you may kind of refer to my social media page or the select media institutions that will be publishing our campaign structure. For the masses out there who may have interest in getting a copy of this document, it's going to be published in specific media media outlets. So by tomorrow you can get a copy and refer yourself in the campaign structure and prepare to go to war politically once NEC gave the signal. So to members of the press, this is District 1 campaign structure you see here. And there are charted names here because each district we are a well-structured political party. Yes. We are the only party that actually has administrative districts and electoral districts. Most rather has 17 electoral districts. For the purpose of administration, we got 23 to 25. And we did that for governance purposes within our structure to reach our people ensure that they are served. So each district has 500 zones and 30 zones, and each zonal leader is the chairman of his respective zone as campaign person. So we will give you a copy of this in the next few minutes, or if not, go to my Facebook page, you will have a copy there, and will be sent to your emails so that you can be able to also view perform your journalistic duties consistent with your own policies at institutional level. So this is it. We want to say thank you for coming to this press conference. We always say thanks to the media because every time we put a point, you come. We may not always agree with what you write, but that is your job. To speak the truth, to write what you think is the truth. When we disagree, we'll always communicate peacefully and objectively so that we can always coexist as a people living in one country. So thank you. We will now tell what the photo and moderator for a few questions.
Amanda. So quickly, we listen to message to the chairman. As well as the official announcement of our campaign team that is prepared and ready to take up the electoral battle. Victory comes the 8th of December. Quickly at this point, we entertain at most 4.
No question, Chairman.
Amanda.